If you're in corporate America and you are leaving, you have to have whatever those expenses are, they need to match. Because right now you have a certain life, so whatever you're making now, that income from the business needs to match that.
Thanks for joining us for the second half of our interview with DK Jones of Soza Fitness and Wellness. DK has some great advice that can help prepare you to transition from your job to starting your own business. Let's hear what she has to say.
You have to be somewhat crazy to want to do this, because remember, you're transitioning from an entire corporation that has a department for everything into transitioning to where you have to do everything. So again, you have to be committed. You can't run at the first sight of a bump in the road or an obstacle. And once you're locked in, you got to stay locked in, and you'll be fine once you do that.
That transition, if you're working at a job and you go into a business, it's like this thought of like, all right, it's gonna transition and everything will be great. And that comes sometimes from the entrepreneur as well as maybe, friends or family or what have you. And it's like, well, the entrepreneur, I think, has to be prepared to know.
They have to be prepared because they do everything. There is no IT department. There is no HR department. Okay. There is no leadership team. You are the team. There's no marketing manager. There is no salesperson.
You're doing all of these things.
Absolutely. And I think going into that, a lot of people don't think about it, like that. There is no, what are you going to use for your CRM system? How are you going to track your clients? How are you going to track your sales? Nobody's doing your taxes now. You don't get a check stub that says we took this much, Social Security, federal, state.
Another base level is that the things that you're going to have to do, and in some cases, some sacrifices that may come up or whatever. You mentioned the idea of, well, maybe it's this house versus that, maybe it's this car versus that, or even how your time is utilized, given that you're going to have to do way more than you may have done when you went to that real job.
Exactly.
Nobody's coming to find clients for you and things like that.
You got to get out there, absolutely, 100%. So that is definitely, it is like I said, it's no blueprint. There's no one size fits all. Everybody's, lane or niche or whatever, it's going to look different. Whatever that looks like. And then there are businesses that totally pivot. You know what I mean? I may start out in fitness. I may end up, developing apps or something. You know what I mean?
How did you determine health and wellness to be the focus of your ventures?
Honestly, I don't think I did. I think it found me, to be quite honest with you. I mean, like I stated before, I would have people kind of come to me and ask for, well, what do you have for eczema? What do you have for, this, and what do you have for that? So honestly, I just feel like it was kind of a way for the universe to seek me out and kind of pull me and say, you need to be here, not over there anymore. It actually just kind of found me, and I found my purpose in that.
Some people, not everybody clearly, some people, there's a concern, or they're like, are you going to be okay? And I understand and appreciate that. But then there are sometimes people that they live for that moment of just saying, oh, that didn't work out for you, or oh, it didn't go the way you, or oh, and it's that type of 100%. Person that one really can't, you can't let somebody like that get into your mindset and interrupt, because they're not going to necessarily say, hey, you had this big journey and you had, good things and bad things and you made it and we're really happy. They're never going to do that.
They're never going to do that.
They're going to look to say that, those type of folk.
Guess what? So what? AB didn't work. It's 26 letters in the alphabet. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, those are there are people who are. It's almost like they wait for you to fail or wait to, you know what I mean? But like I said, entrepreneur looks different on everybody. If you're in corporate America and you are leaving, you have to have whatever those expenses are, they need to match. Because right now you have a certain life. So whatever you're making now, that income from the business needs to match that. Because do you understand what I'm saying? Because you can't just leave and like, oh my God, now I have this bill and I don't know how to pay it, and I don't have enough money from this and that. And some people are entrepreneurs. For example, I know a lot of people where one of the spouses is the entrepreneur, the other works full time. So that full time worker, supplies the insurance, they pay the mortgage, that kind of thing. That's okay. If you're a part-time entrepreneur and you're a part-time, worker for someplace else, that's okay. If you're a full-time entrepreneur, that's okay. So there is no one way to do it, and I think everybody's journey is different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting, I think, when you go to a job or other kind of areas of our lives that are kind of what we see as routine. We do it all the time, and we feel like, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Yep, it does not have to be.
On what one wants, how one chooses to live their life, how one chooses to work their career.
Yep.
It's up to us. We don't have to do what society always tells us or we think we have to do.
I think that a lot of it is tied to our society as far as having to look a certain way or having to be perceived a certain way, and we have this reward center, like I said, with the feel good hormones, like it's like we're programmed that way. We got to keep going. We get this, okay, get this, get like that. But it's okay to just be happy with, whatever's going to make you happy.
What has been one of your biggest successes as a business owner?
Well, there's a couple. Number one is that like I mentioned before, I feel like fitness should be part of your preventative health, meaning literally, which the insurance companies are getting better, and I should probably say that a lot of gym memberships are now being covered by your health insurance. So that's number one, getting people healthier, whether that's coming off meds, whether that is losing weight, whether that's getting rid of visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, whatever that may look like. I think number two is that we've always been a huge part of our community. So we do things like blessing bags for the homeless, right? So these are mainly just hygiene bags that we put together for homeless people. We do food drives. We do clothing where we actually collect it like business clothes for women transitioning from prison back into the workforce.
We talked about being an entrepreneur, but how does it make you feel doing the work that you do as well? You mentioned, being a chemist, being somebody who's, in tune with their, with kind of health and wellness, somebody who is in tune with fitness, also an environmentalist. How does it make you feel doing the work that you do?
It makes me feel like as long as I leave this earth in a better, whether that's one person, whether that's 100 people, as long as I leave it a little bit better than once I was, then by me being here, I'm okay with that.
Tell me, what advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs?
In addition to money, you have to have heart, right? And so if you're just doing it for the money, believe me, your business will definitely pick up on that. The money and the heart of the business have to be aligned. It's not just about the money. My name is Diawn. Everybody calls me DK, so it's DK Jones. My businesses are Soza Fitness and Wellness, Hippie Chemist, and Gym and Juice, and we are American Trade.
If you like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And please don't forget to share with at least 6 people.